What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the BTSI show. I'm your host, Christopher J. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching our early morning gym session a couple hours back. I really appreciate that. And like I said, if I had the time, I'm gonna come home. We're gonna react to "Enough Is Enough" by Andrew Tate. But real quick, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys already know where you at. BTSI show. Your host, Christopher J. Do me a favor. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube page. Follow me on all my social media accounts located in the description. If you'd like to make a donation, Cash App, the BTSI show, participate, waive all rights and privacy. On the road to 1,000 subscribers. Once we reach that goal, one lucky person will get $100 when we do our Cash App giveaway. And don't forget to visit the BTSI show website. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. This is another edition of All World Reaction. You would think I will have a regular standard banner, ready, but I don't. My apology. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry about that. I knew it was there was no S to it. It's all good. We here. I'll make the updates later on. This is our reaction. Let's get into it. Enough is enough. Andrew Tate. Now we all know that Andrew Tate did a interview with the BBC, and we all know how that interview pretty much went. Pretty much BBC. Andrew Tate still have active cases going on. And instead of doing the due diligence, the interviewer tried to throw this man under the bus. The interviewer tried to have this man incriminated. And she was going off of clips, not full sit down interviews. She went off of clips and thought that was going to work. That is the epitome of a yellow journalist. I don't respect it. This is this new age of journalism that I don't, it's somewhat blogging. You went to school, put all that sacrifice in, got your degree, maybe have to go do master course or whatever the case may be. You still there's still a process to becoming a journalist. You went through all of that and you still showed yourself to be a yellow journalist. I don't appreciate that. That is the most disrespectful title you can have as a journalist. That lady did not care. She went with her talk point. She sounded like a full blown right wing feminist. Excuse me, an extreme feminist. Andrew Tate handled himself appropriately. He took control. He let her know what time it is. I greatly appreciate it. Now, the only reason why I didn't react to that interview is because other people reacted to that interview, so they beat me to the punch. I say, all right, I gotta let that one go. This one, however, found out about this either late last night or how long ago did this post? Oh, so 22 hours ago. So, all right, we're still within the time frame. Found out that he did a video, and while I was working out this morning, I said, let me react to it. Let me do a reaction to it before anybody else get the chance to. So, without further ado, this is a blind reaction. This is a live reaction. I have not watched this video yet. We're going to watch it right now, so you're going to get my true, honest, raw thoughts and feelings about this. It is 13 minutes and 33 seconds long, so let's go and see what we got. Enough is Enough by Andrew Tate, aka Tate Speech.
How to escape the heat if you don't have an air conditioner. This
Oh, they
only
got
takes
ads
5
now?
minutes.
Okay.
Tired of hot and stuffy rooms?
That means the bag is coming in. How many push-ups did he do in jail?
In the interest of saving absolutely everybody's time, I feel like doing a generalized statement to all legacy media inside of the Matrix. And I'm
Speaking of the Matrix, some people are going to ask, you are live reacting to this on YouTube, Facebook, in Twitter. Are you worried about the Matrix? I outsmarted the Matrix one time before on TikTok. Granted, they wasn't too happy about that, but nevertheless, I outsmarted the Matrix. So we'll see what happens in the future with the Matrix. I'll just work my magic then if I have to. But let's continue.
I'm doing it to save their time and mine, as well as protect the minds of the masculine youth for the future. I want to make it very clear that the legacy media, which I enjoyed the company of today, have made a massive mistake and missed a chance to do some genuinely interesting journalism.
I said that earlier. That woman was a yellow journalist. She had the opportunity. And this is why I like Piers Morgan. Yes, Piers Morgan's a bit extreme. I get it. I understand. But outside of one interview that Andrew Tate did with Piers Morgan, I enjoyed the interview. Piers Morgan was hard on him. He was fair. It was back and forth. I appreciate it. But what I know Vice was straight trash. That's why they went bankrupt. And well, let me not say that because I know bankruptcy is kind of like a negative connotation on it, but it is what it is. Let me not say that. But just Vice Media, I just looked at them kind of funny ever since the Jesus and Mero thing. I'll be honest with that. And now you want to bring in the BBC and that particular woman who did the interview with Andrew Tate. Hey, I don't. Yellow journalist. She's a yellow journalist. She has to own that title. Me personally, if I'm running BBC and one of my own did that, you're fired. Personally, that's just my take on it.
After being unfairly incarcerated in a Romanian dungeon, I thought that even the BBC, in its absolute arrogance and hubris, would be smart enough to come to me after 6 months, being the first interview I gave to the Matrix, and be smart enough to ask questions people were genuinely interested in.
They did
What's
not.
it like inside of a Romanian prison cell? How were you treated? Why was a person's liberty deprived of them for 6 months without charge? How is your mental state post your unfair incarceration?
Let's stop right there because I said the exact same thing because he came out of jail. Now, granted, he's still on house arrest, so let me make that perfectly clear. He came out of jail. He did a what do you call it, news conference, I guess, in front of his house, and talked to the media real quick. He made some jokes. Oh yeah, I think 7,100 push-ups or 7,700 push-ups. Jesus Christ, I don't know if I could have done that, but who knows? Now he did all of that, and then you see a video of him smoking a cigarette or a cigar, walking back and forth. So my immediate question was, if I was to interview Tate, it's like, hey, how you doing, man? How you feeling? You've been locked away for 6 months. Where's your mental state at? Because with him walking back and forth in that video, me personally, I think that was a symbol of him telling people, I'm okay, but I'm not entirely okay. It's going to take a while, but give me some time. I'm going to get back to my roots. That's what I think. That's what I sense him walking back and forth. So we will. So that would be my question personally. Why this woman did not answer that question? She came with the agenda, and she fucked it up. Like I said, BBC. Had I been running the company, or if I'm in charge of hiring people and firing people, that yellow journalist, whatever her name is, fired.
Things people are genuinely interested in hearing, but instead, they came with the same old talking points. And I'd like to address all of those talking points to the Matrix media now to prevent this happening again, because it's a monumental waste of everybody's time. I say things on the internet. I've been making content on the internet for a very long time. Finding a clip from 2016, 8 years ago, finding a 4-hour-long podcast from 2016, ignoring all context, ignoring everything positive I say about men and women and the world, and taking a single sentence and trying to pretend that's my entire worldview is not the bombshell you think it is.
I'm not a victim of clips. I remember I said that one time on Daryl's channel, original channel. because I guess him and Tommy Sotomayor was going at it. And I said this while when people was talking about it. I said this while Tommy was in the chat. I'm not a victim of clips. If I'm gonna judge you or critique you, I need to watch the whole entire stream. The reason why I didn't go at Kevin Samuels the way everybody else went at Kevin Samuels, because although I saw the clip, I said, if this is from a podcast or a stream, let me listen to it. I have to go watch all of Kevin Samuels' streams, 4 hour streams, multiple at a time. I have to go watch all of that to get a genuine opinion about him. And overall, like I said with Kevin Samuels, sprinkle God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit on Kevin Samuels, you pretty much have my father. So what everything Kevin Samuel was saying, I heard it all before, and I heard from multiple men growing up. That's why didn't have an issue with Kevin Samuels. I never had an issue with Tommy Sotomayor. For the most part, let me rephrase that. Some of the things might be a little bit too extreme. Old Tommy, new Tommy, This is different. This is the type of Tommy I was expecting to see after Kevin Samuels passed. But what have happened. But now he's back in full effect. I'm not a victim of 30-second clips, hour clips, or even 15 to 20-minute clips. I have to watch the whole thing. Like when I put clips out, I put like maybe like between 7 to 8 minute clips is where I try to range, maybe a little bit more. And if I do that, that's for you to go back and watch the full interview for context. And I put the link in the description. See, what that journalist try to do is take a single clip, like I'm listening. Boom. I like that. I want to use that against them. Let me do that. That's pretty much what she did. And I expect that from bloggers. Like I guess like myself, I guess. I expect that from guys on my level, women on my level to do that because they're not journalists. They're not journalists. With journalists, there's some type of integrity that comes with that title. That woman did not display it. Nightish, what's going on, sir? Thank you for pulling up. She 100% had an agenda. 100%. Tommy was trying to so-called son Gerald. Those two always is going to be. We just at this point, it's just like just let it happen. There's something that's inevitable. Those two are just not going to get along. So if he tried to son him, I get it. I understand why Daryl stand 10 toes down. I'm not mad at that, but those two are forever going to beef. But let's continue.
Nobody cares. Everybody understands what satire is. Everybody understands what a joke is. Everybody understands it's the internet. Everybody understands all of these things. Plus, the people who know the truth of my message are very capable of understanding what is satirical and what is true. People are not as stupid as you'd like them to be. Sitting down with me and missing the chance to have a genuinely interesting interview with genuinely interesting questions that people are interested in hearing the answers to, and instead attempting this attack to get this bombshell aha moment is never going to work. Because one, I'm too smart for all of you. And two, nobody cares.
That's a fact. That is a fact. BBC had a golden opportunity, but they dropped the ball. They had to hold that out. I don't know what this journalist was thinking. Maybe she had superiors that said, "We want you to get this out of him. I want you to get something salacious." See, when you have the opportunity to interview somebody where you don't need these headlines, you just need the person, and you just need to put a microphone in front of them. You ask them a question, they will give you not only will they give you your answer, they will give you answers to questions you did not ask. They will tell you everything you need to know. You had the opportunity and they dropped the ball. Like I said, if that was me, she'd be fired.
Nobody cares I made a joke 8 years ago because everybody knows I was joking and everybody knows the truth of my message. So you're wasting absolutely everybody's time. Worse than wasting everybody's time, what you're genuinely doing is damaging the minds of young men. And I think I have a responsibility as one of the most influential men on the planet to protect the minds of young men and all of the men who look up to me. Nobody, no young man below the age of 30 has any interest in what the BBC or the legacy media say.
He's telling the truth. He's 100% telling the truth. Some of these people that are interested in interviewing Andrew Tate are people like around my age range, but particularly a lot older. So the older generation doesn't really care. But then again, maybe it's these older outlets that is trying to tell the parents, be careful of this guy because this guy is talking to your kids, not knowing if the parents really just take a moment to sit down and listen to him, they're saying, well, he does the same thing that I have never said before. I was like, he's one of us, in some way, shape, or form. And as a parent, you're gonna say, well, kudos to him. He's spreading the same message. And as a parent, is whether you prove it or not. Now, depending on your personal beliefs, like spiritual beliefs, religious beliefs, I get it and I understand. That's why I said you have to sprinkle God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit around Kevin saying you pretty much have a father. So I get that part. But nevertheless, the messaging, what he's trying to do is it's real simple and it's really clear that I shouldn't have to say, but I'll say anyway, he is protecting masculinity because it is hard to control a masculine man in any universe, period. If you have a masculine man, you have a man that's going to stand his ground and you're not going to make him move. You're going to move before he does. Let's continue.
They don't care and they don't watch it unless I appear on there. So when I sit across from a reporter who says that having a nice car makes you a misogynist, it's disingenuous. And also
financial success
correct.
With a Bugatti and a cigar, but it comes with a side order of misogyny.
How does having a Bugatti and a cigar come with misogyny?
Because it's all mixed together in what you teach.
That was the most stupidest shit I've ever heard. I walked away from my phone. Matter of fact, I almost threw my phone out the window. I think I was literally watching this in my car at work. And when I saw that, I almost rolled down the window and fling. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? A Bugatti, a cigar comes with the side of misogyny. How the hell did you come to that? That was probably the most feminist, dumbest talking point I heard that particular day. And I'm on Clubhouse and YouTube all the time. That has to be the most dumbest shit I've ever heard. He's better than me. I'll tell him to get out.
I find that to be extremely dangerous rhetoric. I find that to be extremist rhetoric.
Had he said, I find that to be dangerously retarded, I wouldn't blame him.
And I think it's very dangerous for young men to think if they work hard for something in their lives, if they dedicate themselves and they're diligent and hardworking and they try hard, that they'll be a bad person.
There you go. You see that? Did you just hear this, man? See, you have to protect masculinity in men. What the hell you mean if I get a nice car or if I decide to take pleasure in a cigar too? That's a sign of misogyny, or that's a sign of a negative side of a man. I work hard to get what I got to where I'm in my life, and I work hard to splurge. I'm not a criminal. I'm not violating anybody's life, liberty, or property. Who the hell are you to tell me how to live my life? Let's go.
I hate the idea of a world where a man who dedicates himself to excellence so he can enjoy the finer things in life is criticized and ostracized and called horrible names purely because he's been a hardworking male. And I don't like young men hearing these extremist ideas. And they're only going to hear these extremist ideas if they watch the BBC, which is an extremist organization. And they're only going to watch the BBC if I talk to the BBC. So I feel like now that these people have proved themselves to be extremist and very damaging to the minds of young men, I have an obligation to not interact with them very much.
Like I said, BBC is for the BBC. No, let me actually say that. I need to go back and say pause for a lot of things I said regarding that. But the BBC network had an opportunity to reach a new audience and they fucked it up. You already got my audience in my age range. I'm 35. You already got the audience, people in their 40s, their 50s, so on and so forth. You had an opportunity to get those 20-year-old demographic teenagers, not really, but You don't want to leave money on the table. You had the opportunity to get those and you blew it. Somebody, that's called dropping the bag. You fumbled the bag big time on that one.
Because I don't want them spreading their extremist propaganda. We have a men's mental health crisis. Young men are disenfranchised. The suicide rate amongst men is much higher than women. And everybody pretends to care. But when I come along and say, I am a man, I've been a man, I know how it feels to be a sad man and a happy man, and I found happiness through masculine achievement and strength, through working hard in the gym, through dedicating myself, through building a life worth living, through taking care of the people who I love, both male and female, through becoming financially successful, through sticking up for myself, through having opinions, through being a man of honor and courage. When I do these things, I'm ostracized, and they're attempting to destroy my life. This goes beyond a few media interviews.
See, this is where there's a position for everybody to play. When it comes to talking to the young men, like mentorship, ladies, I love you, leave them alone. Get them to the father, get them to the grandfather, get them to the uncles. There got to be some OGs in the neighborhood, give it to them. Besides the football coaches and that type of stuff, get more mentorship, mentorship. Because what I believe what happens when men grab a hold of these children, especially when you want to talk about their emotional state, you have men who've been down that road before. You have men who could provide them a space for them to let out their emotions or express their emotions in a controlled environment. That is something a man can provide more so than a woman. Now, what the women do with the girls, let that happen. Not to say that a man should not partake in that or oversee that, because as a man, that's their job. But for the most part, let the women tell the women how to move like a woman, especially if they are the right people in position to do that. But when it comes to these young boys, and with the stuff that they go through, give them to us and let us mentor them. Let us guide them in the right direction. Because there's some women that believe that they're independent, they can do everything by themselves. No, 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 no. You can look at the result. You might be able to physically do everything by themselves. The results are going to show that it was a walking train wreck. So, and that goes to the idea of men raise boys, women raise girls. So we'll talk about that in another during the debunk session when I get to New York. But let the man raise the young man, because they're going to point them in the right direction, and we can, diminish, lower this deletion rate. What I'm talking about, lower this suicide rate. I'm just saying. Let the man handle the young man. Let's go.
They are attempting to put me in jail and destroy my life because I am helping young men. They don't care about men's mental health.
Oh, and real quick, to that point, some people will say, then why are they going this hard to silence Andrew Tate? Why is he's just Andrew Tate. What is he doing? History has shown, men, women, doesn't matter. History has shown if you have influence, you have power, and you have finance to control the narrative, to control the masses, they will silence you. You can go back in history and see that. You can go to the civil rights and look at the leaders that they silenced. You can go to when it comes to women's rights or whatever the case may be, women have been silenced as well. Some leaders, women leaders, they have been silenced because they can affect change. Whether it be good, bad, or whatever the case may be, we're not discussing that. If you have enough power to control the masses against the narrative that the matrix or the machine is pushing, you will be silenced. Some way, shape, or form. So what did they do with this one? In Romania, they threw him in jail. Because would this happen to Andrew Tate in the US? What's going on in Romania? I doubt it. Because there's too many laws to protect him, and he has enough resources to sue the hell out of somebody. Next, let's go.
They have no interest at all. In fact, the ideas they purport, like I've just explained, are genuinely damaging to the mindset of young men.
Let me read that. The independent, the traders. Why it's so important to see men cry on reality TV. Man, there are some occasions, only a handful of occasions where you can cry, depending on what this was about. No. The hit new BBC show, no wonder.
On top of this, they waste everybody's time because their aha moment never works. Nobody's interested in it. And I destroy them with ease. But my hourly rate is high. It's not very fun for me to do. I just do it. It has to be done. But I don't particularly enjoy it. I allowed you into my home. I'm doing you a favor in person if you don't do it in public. You don't come here with a position of authority. You're not the police. I don't respect the BBC. I don't know you. You do not come here with a position of authority over me. We are equals. We are people. We're citizens of the world, and we sit here as equals. And I see you as my equal. And if you ask me questions, I can ask you questions back. For you to come here and sit down and pretend you're the Gestapo and that you don't answer my questions is disingenuous because I don't owe you anything.
Asking questions and you answer.
But I don't owe
however you
no.
want.
This is a conversation, and I don't owe you any degree of authority over me. So let's make that clear. And that doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or from the BBC or the CNN. I'm here to answer your questions and be honest with you and do you a favor.
Right.
And I'm doing you a favor. But you come here with loaded questions. You're trying to paint a narrative of me, which is negative.
I'm asking you
And
about
that's
things
fine.
you've said that people are concerned about.
And that's fine.
You
But you're not going to
said
sit here and say you
over
don't answer my questions because you're not above me. So,
And I appreciate how he handled that interviewer. Exerting some type of authority, like this is my house. You don't. The only reason why you're here is because I allowed you to be here. You don't need to be here. I can kick you out at any time. So while I allow you in my castle, we're gonna have this conversation. I'm gonna answer your questions. You can answer my questions. Let's have a genuine conversation. That's how this works. The interviewer said, "No, I'm asking the questions. You're the interviewee. I'm the interviewer. You answer my question." And not knowing that with what's going on right now, this is a special situation. You're interviewing Andrew fucking Tate. Because you're interviewing Andrew fucking Tate, you need to do your research. I can't stand, ladies and gentlemen, the 4 interviews that I have done with Fantasy Island Girl Q, my dog Content King, excuse me. And she's in the chat right now, Callie Beth. I had did some type of research on them to have those conversations. See, I don't go out randomly asking people, hey, let's talk. No, I did my research on you beforehand. So that way, when we do have this conversation, it's genuine. I'm not looking stupid. And I have my stuff in my what to touch on. If it's not organically touched on anyway during the conversation. This woman did the most yellow journalist research I've ever seen. Like I said, had that been me, if I was running the BBC, she is fired.
So, in the interest of spreading good and positivity in the world, which is my number one objective, I am making this clear to all legacy media outlets. I will no longer interact with you for free. Nobody cares that you lie about me, and nobody cares what you say. You have destroyed all of your credibility in the last 4 years of constantly lying about everything. And continuing to lie about me will only destroy your credibility further.
I'm not mad at it. I now know my worth. I now know how much it will cost for you to waste my fucking time. So to any outlets, he like said legacy media outlets. So I don't think he's talking about like a YouTuber or something like that, or a Clubhouse, or these type of content creators. Maybe he is, who knows? But what he's saying is, for you outlets that want to come talk to me, hand over a bag. Ain't shit free no more. You want to talk to me? You want to waste my time? You got to pay me for my time. The most valuable thing a man has is time. They don't like their time to be wasted. If you're going to utilize his schedule, it comes with the bag. I'm not mad at it. Not even a little bit.
I have an organization called Tate Pledge, which you can see. Go to corporatate.com and click at Tate Pledge, and you will see that I dedicate $25 million a year to feeding children, both male and female, in war-torn countries. I would like to think that even the legacy media can agree that feeding children in Sudan, or Turkish children after an earthquake, or Syrian children in refugee camps is a pretty positive thing to do for the world. In my last BBC interview, she tried to spin it and say that what I'm doing is somehow negative because I'm only doing it for myself. But this is the level of delusion these people operate under.
Because some people would look at that and say, okay, so before you got money from attracting people to your website by making controversial comments, but that might have got you into trouble. And so now you're looking for a new market. You're looking for a new market of followers who are attracted by a different sort of persona.
I've always done the charity work, so that is obviously incorrect. And I have proof that I've always done the charity work, so you're wrong. Tate pledge is.
I never. Now, for the record, I don't know how it works in Tate's in a foreign country, so I don't know how their systems necessarily work. I know in America, if you donate to a charity or what the case would be, that could be some type of tax write-off. Like me, when I pay my tithes and offerings, it's a tax write-off. Granted, I never filed it because I never get the paperwork in time to file it, but that's a story for another day. Nevertheless, if I'm living in these situations that these people were, and somebody was to come around and made a generous donation so I can at least have one good day, I'm taking it. What year was that? 2000? No, that was 2010. In 2010, yeah, it was 2010 because we went to New Orleans the following year. In 2010, I went to the Impact Movement. That's a Christian conference. It was in Atlanta, Georgia that year. I don't remember what side of Atlanta we went to, but we went there bearing gifts, foods, or whatever the case may be. And we also spread the gospel, spreading the word of Jesus. But at the same time, to see the reason I bring that up is to see how the people's reaction. It's a feeling that one will never forget. Now, granted, I didn't appreciate it that much because of my stoicness at that time, and I'm still stoic to this day. But I understand now more so than before how. Well, actually, I should know this better than most people. When you go through all these bad days, all these inconvenience, just to have one good day is worth it. And we was able to, well, the movement was able to give all these people at least one good day. And with that, get them the word of God, get them the encouragement, and help them go in the right direction, pray for them, so on and so forth. Now, for I bring that up for Andrew Tate to do what he did on a massive scale. You talk about $25 million a year. That's a lot of good, especially you want to talk about $25 million. What it be American, what it be yours, whatever the case may be, to go to all these godforsaken countries, and I put that in air quotes, or be facetious when I say that, to go in these countries and to provide some assistance to them, to those that are there. I say salute to them. And for somebody to try to say you're doing that for yourself, you're doing that because of you, because you still did A, B, C, and D to draw people to the website. Shut the fuck up forever. I can't stand a yellow journalist.
It's funded 100% by me. This is my personal money. But I believe if the legacy media is intent on spreading hate, intent on spreading extremist ideologies, which it seems they are, not only the extremist ideology that men shouldn't work hard, but also a bunch of other ones, which I don't need to mention because most thinking people understand what the legacy media is trying to purport on not only the population, but the young children of the world.
In other words, just to throw out one, they're trying to feminize men. And you feminize the leaders of the house, you didn't have the media then has control of the household, and they can then dictate how society moves. That's just at least one thing.
And what they are trying to push is far more damaging than me saying you should go to the gym.
There you go. Stop. There you go. It just popped up. Some of y'all guys may not be seeing it. I think this is one of those hold on, drag queens, story time, connecting kids with LGBTQ plus role models of color. See, if you feminize the men, you have full control of the household. If the media feminize the men, they have full control of the household. And how do you do that? You start with them young. First of all, they're going to try to remove the man from the household. They already did that 50, 60 plus years ago. Now, what's next? Now you got to target the children. You got to go after the kids and instill that ideology in them. And so that could go with them everywhere they go, from elementary school to middle school to high school, whatever the case may be. Now, does this mean that I have something against LGBTQIA community? I will make sure they have their rights as a human being. Let me say that one more time. The LGBTQIA community has the right to live as a human being. But that's where your right stops, because I'd stop that right with anybody, especially particularly when it comes to my family, my household, my kids, so on and so forth. Your rights stop right here. You cross that line, you are now in dangerous territory, because now you're dealing with particularly me. And I'm not as nice as other people are, especially when it comes to my family. Let's go.
I no longer have any interest in interacting with the legacy media for free, because I don't want their extremist views shown to young children without doing some good for the world.
Mm-hmm.
My fee from this point onwards is $50,000 and a box of chocolates.
But he kills me. He kills me with this box of chocolates thing, because he did that with Vice. But 50 racks. 50 racks. Interview might be an hour long. $50,000 in 1 hour. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see. How much are you willing? But I'm curious. If you're going to charge them $50,000 to do a story about you, not story, do an interview with you, are we going to see more of the BBC network interview, or what else do you have in mind? Because if someone's paying $50,000, no one's going to pay $50,000 to go through what they went through, or maybe they will. Let me not step on his money. I'm just curious. How would Andrew Tate conduct that interview for $50,000 and a box of chocolate? That is fucking hilarious.
That is what it is going to cost you to speak to me. If you are from the Matrix, you will give me $50,000 in advance, which will be donated to Tate Pledge, which will be used to feed children in war-torn countries. And you will also bring a box of chocolates to my gate, which I will ingest as I listen to your Matrix propaganda and destroy you. Because I deserve chocolate and I have to put up with you. I am an extremely successful man, and my time is valuable. And you're wasting mine, yours, and everybody else's.
There you go.
To come on with extremist ideas, I would at least sleep better at night if you were feeding some poor innocent children somewhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You have no interest in doing any good for the earth. You're only interested in spreading hate, unlike me, who wants to do good things. So, post my BBC interview, I've been contacted by the New York Times, CNN, the Clinton News Network, all of them. And they're all desperate to interview me because they understand the number of views it will get. I want to try now. I want to try now. And they all want to try a different version of the same aha moment. Not understanding, because they're completely detached from reality, that it's not an aha moment and nobody cares. They're not interested. They're not smart enough to look at the board of the chessboard and say, this isn't going to work. Let's ask him questions people actually care about. They're not that smart. So if you want to waste your time and mine, that's what it's going to cost you. $50,000. I managed to procure meals at around 80 cents each. So we'll feed over 60,000 children for wasting an hour of my time, plus a box of chocolates.
60,000 families, $50,000, 60,000 families. He's a smart man. I like it.
That is my fee from this point forward. I will still speak to non-Matrix media outlets who are interested in the truth, interested in asking interesting questions that people want to hear the answers to.
Yep.
I will still be available to do my own podcasts and tell the truth. But as long as legacy media retain their reputation as peddlers of extremist ideology, I no longer have any interest in promoting them and making them relevant. It's better we allow them to become irrelevant, which they are doing through their own dishonest actions. I will no longer interact with any of you for free ever again. So, to the 64 journalists who have emailed me so far since the BBC interview, Do you have $50,000 in a box of chocolates?
Yeah.
Because I'm not interested in speaking to you for any other reason. I actually think I'm being quite kind only charging 50 grand. I should charge 200 grand, but I'm a nice man. And $50,000 will still feed a lot of children. I promise any legacy media outlet that pays me the fee can have an interview. And I also promise to provide full accounting and receipts to prove that that money goes directly to charity, to feeding children in war-torn country.
He's a smart man. This is like if you ever had to invest in somebody, this is already you want to invest in. Like quickly, because this interview's almost over and I gotta get out of here. When Kevin Samuel passed away, God rest his soul, I said somebody was coming. I said let the manosphere, let Red Pill get time more, but there's somebody coming after Kevin Samuels. Now, like I said, current Tommy Sotomayor that you see right now, I expect that to be him. But Andy Tate came out of the nowhere to based off of what I seen. He might have been around, I just missed him. It happens. But he came, he took the media by storm. And now you hear him talking right now. This man knows what he's doing. Great upbringing. I can tell by listening to him. And he speaks about his father quite often when you ask. Chess master. After he's black chess master and instill something into him and his brothers. Hey, I can hear it when this man talks. So this is, I tell people, just somebody you want to invest in, that's him, Andrew Tate.
But I will no longer allow the Matrix propaganda machine to infect the minds of innocent children by using my relevance to achieve interviews and get views they would never normally get to spread hateful propaganda. If you can't afford me, you're going to have to go back to just lying about me without speaking to me, because God knows the truth. I know the truth. Most of the world knows the truth. And I genuinely believe that Allah is the best of planners. And whatever happens to me, regardless of whether I am martyred, regardless of whether they put a bullet in my brain, I know what I have done is good for the world. And the things I will do will continue to be good for the world. Get your checkbooks out, or don't email me at all, because there will be no compromise. I don't care what you try and do and say to goad me into an interview. You can lie about me all you want. It's what you do already. I'm not afraid of your lies. It's going to cost 50 grand plus a box of chocolates.
The box of chocolate. This guy is crazy, man. He is special. All right, y'all. That was enough is enough. Like I said, moving forward, it is $50,000 to do an interview and a box of chocolate. I cannot stand you. Oh, I cannot stand you sometimes. I love Callie, but yeah, you heard $50,000 box of chocolate. So he now he's realizing how much he's worth. I remember Joe Budden talked about I don't know where he went to, but when he found out, when he typed in his name, went to this company, typed in his name, and they said, dude, I think CPT clicks per, not color people time, you geniuses, clicks per something, or what the case would be, he popped up like over 3 billion times. So because of certain matrices, you are, hey Fantasy, how you doing, sweetheart? You are able to find out your value. How much is a stream worth? How much is a view worth? How much is a sell worth? What are you pushing? Now that you got to find some type of equation and plan all that out. Now, I'll openly admit it's very difficult to find out how much your time is worth. Once you figure out that equation, because there are some people who have. So when people, like for example, let me give you Michael Douglas. He said this to T.I. during a filming of Ant-Man, whether to be the first one or the second one. He said he could act for free. He loves acting so much that he will do it for free. But the reason why he charged these movie stars so much money for the role is because I'm charging you for the time that I am I am not doing what I'm supposed to be doing to come film a movie. I'm charging you for my time. I'm not charging you for the acting skills. I can do that for free. How long is it going to take to do this movie? 2 to 3 months? I'm going to charge you 2 to 3 months of taking me away from what I'm supposed to be doing. That's how you move as a man. Once you realize how much your time is worth, that's how much you realize your value is worth. And that's how much you can start expecting people to identify you, to dictate or rank your value. How much is your time worth? I want you to look at your watch right now. How much is the hour worth of your time? How much is 30 minutes? How much is 10 minutes? 5 minutes? 1 minute? 30 seconds? How much is your time worth? Like me, I can do this YouTube stuff for free. I don't care. But I know moving forward, later on down the road, not now because I'm getting my feet work. I'm getting skin in the game, as they would say. I know my time is going to cost. So whenever I'm able to dictate how much my time is valued, how much it's worth, then that's when you're going to start to see change. That's when you start to see a lot of things in men change because they start to understand how valuable they are. It's not necessarily, yes, what you put in, what you invest in, as far as going to work, doing your research, making more money, leveling up, all this other stuff. Yes, but once you do all of that, you start to realize how much every second of the day costs of your time. So that's for the men. So that was our world reaction, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, this is impromptu. I'm going to be late as hell for work, but that is okay. But before you guys leave, you guys know what you need to do. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube page, follow me on all social media accounts, Cash App, the BTSI show. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We will do a Cash App giveaway once we reach 1,000 subscribers for $100 to one lucky person. Participant waive their rights and privacy. And don't forget to visit the BTSI Show website. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be hella late for work, but that's okay because I think this interview, this message is a little bit more important. So, it's all good. We'll figure it out. So, thank you guys for watching. This is the BTSI Show. I'm your host, Christopher J. I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.